Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is a conversation with Bryan Ng. He's the founder of Viral Bangers, which is a YouTube scriptwriting agency helping creators and educators write viral scripts and banger videos. We chat about how video games make you a better entrepreneur, how one YouTube video completely changed Bryan's life, and how to build a content business that gives you the freedom to travel the world and live life on your own terms, which is exactly what Bryan is doing right now. I'm Dillan Taylor. I run Grindstone, which is accountability coaching for video creators. As of right now, we've helped our clients generate over $750,000 in extra income, and hopefully conversations like this one with Bryan help you level up your own content, so maybe you can work with us one day. Who knows? But if you want to get more clients from the content that you're making, or you want to build a business that gives you way more freedom, you're going to get a ton out of this episode. And so, without further ado, I hope you enjoy my conversation with Bryan Ng. Mr. Bryan, I have a full cup of coffee here and a bunch of quotes, ideas, concepts that you have said in videos or tweeted or mentioned at some point over the last year or so. And I figure we just go through as many as we can and parse them out. Does that sound good to you?
Let's run it. I got my water beside me, so let's run it.
Beautiful. I had to start with this one because you tweeted this morning, and this really hit me like a ton of bricks. Video game addiction is the gateway drug to online business. What does that mean?
I feel like every young person who's gotten their start in business has some sort of video game addiction or had some sort of video game addiction. So when I was a kid, 6, 7, started off with Pokemon. I played Pokemon for 5-6 years. All of the OG stuff. I'm kind of rusty on it now. I don't really remember a ton of the OG stuff. But Pokemon Black and White, X and Y, played all of it and maxed out all the stats, got everything to level 100. And then when I was 14, got a League of Legends addiction. Arguably one of the worst things to happen to a human being. But I played League of Legends for 4 or 5 years and got pretty good. I feel got pretty good for my time invested. I got a good ROI out of it. And I think video games just teach you a lot of the gamification of business, and video games obviously not in the real world, and it's lower stakes, and you're having fun doing it, and you're maxing your stats, and then there's a lot of strategy, a lot of high level thinking that you apply to video games that you don't really get a yield out of, you don't really get an ROI out of it in the real world, in the real world, and then you bring it to business, and you make money. Your life improves, the people around you, their life improves because your life improves. You upgrade your circle, and you just get way better at a lot of these skills. So video games teach you a lot of base fundamental skills, unit economics, some math, strategy, how to communicate, how to collaborate with people. So I think it's the gateway drug. Lots of my good friends have either played Fortnite, if you're in the older crowd, StarCraft, right? All of these strategy games, even when, not a video game, but now it's considered a video game. Both of us play a lot of chess, right? I've been playing chess since I was 6 or 7, playing over the board, 6 hours at a board a day for a week straight at a tournament isn't anything super new, right? So yeah, video games are the gateway drug to business. Anyone who's good at business, even Elon Musk. Even Elon Musk, he plays what game does he play? StarCraft or Diablo or something like that? And he's the best at it. Yeah, Mr. Beast.
Apparently he's the best.
Apparently. Yeah. And then Mr. Beast is King of Catan too. Right? So yeah, play more games.
I love it. I definitely have my history of video game addiction. And also it must be said, I was laughing when you shared that first round. You highlighted our age gap in talking about Pokemon because, man, I broke, when I was just a kid, I was playing Black and White, X and Y, and I was like, oh my God, those were those came out so much later in my life. I grew up on Red, Blue, the original Pokemon. Yeah. So feeling a bit old in this conversation already, but it's fascinating how gamified. I feel like today more than ever, the business of business is gamified. I think something like school.com comes to mind, like this online community platform that Alex Hormozy has recently invested in over the last year or so. And like they turn business into a game, right? Like affiliates, percentages that go into your bank account. I used to play RuneScape. I played a lot of video games, but RuneScape was my favorite. And I often laugh, and that's what I thought about when I read this morning, as to how similar my life feels to just every day going around playing RuneScape, like going on quests, little side quests, like, ooh, actually, I think I'm going to go explore this. Like, you can't go into certain places or do certain tasks until one of your skills, like you have to get each of these skills to a certain number. And I'm like, yeah, like, man, we can't start running ads. Like, I've never run ads before. I'm like I'm a 1 out of 99 on paid ads. But like, oh, cold outreach, I feel like, okay, I'm at like a 57. Like, I can feel all these different levels of skills
Yep.
and what they allow. And anyway, that really hit. That was very fun. I interviewed you and we met almost a year or so ago, not quite a year ago. And we talked all about your YouTube scriptwriting agency. And you've been up to a lot since then. And your pinned tweet actually says that you have a plan to make $100,000 a month of profit with a YouTube channel, just working 3 hours a day. And that just feels like there've been a few goal or value differences since I saw you last, and I would love to know what's exactly the same as when we first chatted, and what is now
Yeah.
completely different for you.
It's a great question. I think since we chatted, I had like a lot of like revelations in terms of what was important to me. And I think it's important to understand what you're good at and what you want out of life. Right. And I had like a lot of understanding of that over the past couple months. So like I'll give a couple main takeaways. Right. Number one, it's that like work shouldn't be your whole life. Like I think in terms of like to win in life in general, you need to win at everything, right? There's no just winning at like business. Like just winning at business like means nothing, right? There's so many like investment bankers who like work, for their ass from like 20 to 50, and then their wife hates them. They don't even know their kids, right? They miss all of their kids' recitals. Like I think about that a lot because like the path that I decide to go down now will, dictate my next 10, 20, 30 years. And I'm still 22. I just turned 22, like at the start of June. And
Old man.
old man, yeah. And if I go down the wrong path and I'm not very intentional about what I work on and how I spend my day to day, like this is like quote unquote like the best years of my life, right? And that's what everyone says. Everyone tells me that, oh, you have like so much time, but I think that you only have so much time. You have so much time until you don't have so much time, right? There eventually reaches a point where, oh, you don't really have so much time. So it's really important to me to be intentional about what I work on, the people I do it with, and like my overall enjoyment of life. Right. And what I kind of came to realize is that, okay, like working like 7, 8, sometimes like 12-hour days isn't necessarily the most enjoyable thing for me. Right. I much rather, go on dates. Right. And I've been going on a bunch of dates since we last talked. Or I'd much rather like spend it with family, like calling like friends and family. Right now, I'll just like pick up the phone, call a random friend, and we'll just talk for like 20, 30 minutes. Right. We'll like talk shit, or we'll just connect and we'll just have fun and we'll just vibe, and there's nothing wrong spending like 20, 30 minutes doing that, right? And I think a lot of people like get caught up in, oh, I want to make like arbitrary like X dollars, right? Like I want to make $10 million by the time I'm like 30 or 40.
It's
And it's
always
like,
magnitudes of 10, strangely enough. It's
yeah,
always 10 something.
right. And it's like, oh, like when you ask them like why, right? They're like, oh, because it's cooler, and it's probably because of some kind of programming that they're taught that, hey, like this guy wants to make this much and I look up to him. So, hey, I'm going to make his goal my goal. And they don't really understand like why they really want it. But, when you really ask them over and over and like what they really want, they, making 10 mil isn't actually what they want. Maybe they just want like the autonomy to, travel the world, go to Thailand and hang out with the boys, right? And like eventually like find a wife and like have a kid, which is like fantastic, right? I think that's like super aspirational goal that you should have because I think that's what you want, and I think that's cool, right? And I think you should do whatever you want. And for me, I realized that like probably like working like 8 hours a day isn't super exciting. I'd rather like work on the right things for 3 4 hours a day, build the leverage that will allow me to, hey, if I press one button to send an email, right, I'll be able to have my dream business. I'll have the autonomy, and then I spend the rest of my time doing things that I enjoy, right? If I want to play chess, I can go and play chess for a couple hours. If I want to, spend time with my family and just like hang out, watch a movie, watch a TV show, I think that's perfectly fine too. Or if I want to, contribute in other ways, go volunteering or like, literally doing whatever I want, I can. I think the autonomy is more important to me than anything. So it's very easy, especially for creators, and you interview lots of creators to get stuck in the hamster wheel. Oh, push out content, push out content, push out content, push out content. Because, I have to hit one weekly upload, right? Which is some arbitrary thing that they're told that, hey, you need to hit one weekly upload because it's quote unquote good for the algorithm. But if you design your life around your business, then you become slave to it. But instead, if you design your life around your business and say you don't like managing appointment setters, then you just don't do that, right? And you find a way to do it your way. And that's a lot of what I've been thinking about. How can I design, a business around the life that I want? It's like, okay, like maybe it'll take a longer path to get to X dollar value that I really want, but I can do it my way, and I can do it in a way that really I enjoy the journey, because really the journey is the only thing which matters, right? Like everyone sets a goal. And then if you ask people, once they get their goal, like say they exit the company for like a couple mil, all of them get depressed, right? All of them don't know what to do after. So really the destination doesn't even matter, because when you hit the destination, you get depressed, right? Or there's stories of people who don't really know what they want to do. So it's really just like the journey that really matters. Do you enjoy it? Right? Do you do it with people that, you would die for? And yeah, like, is it something that you'll tell your kids a couple years down the line? I think that's super important to me. And I think that's like been a huge like values shift, and not just a value shift. I think I live that in my actions day to day in terms of what I spend my time on.
I always forget his name, but the writer of the E-Myth Revisited, he has a quote in there that really stuck with me, which is very similar to what you're sharing. And he says, your business should fuel your life. Your business should not be your life. And that's what I'm hearing in everything that you're sharing. And I love it. And I'm curious, what shifted? Like you said, like there's been a shift, and obviously you're highlighting the shift in values. But I'm curious, like, was there a moment, a day, an event? Like, what was the specific, if there was one, shift that made you go like, actually, we're going to slow things down so that we can speed things up. Like, we're going to change the way I do things here.
Yeah, I did a leadership program in Austin. So I spent the first 5 months of this year. So like November through March in Austin. It was like a 5 month long like leadership program. And really like the main takeaways is that, like, gotta live life of urgency, right? Like everything's like day by day, right? And just because you're not happy with your life doesn't mean that you can change it, right? It's like you're like the author of your life, as corny as like that realization is. But like you really like have control over what you want to do, right? Because like it's all in your mind, and you know, like you're just like not a victim, right? And it also like helped me realize like how lucky I am to be in the position that I'm in. I think a lot of the problems in today's world, or like how people like operate day to day, is just a lack of gratitude, right? It's a lack of gratitude for, you know, them being alive, and like that's something that Gary Vee really preaches, right? It's like a lot of gratitude. It's like he says that, oh, if you don't have a family member who is like cancer or like is about to die and your health is good, then it's a good day, right? I like truly believe that, because man, like when when we see, when we go to like funerals, or like when I hear of my friends, like family members dying, it's like none of this like really matters. Like none of this really matters. It doesn't matter whether you build a big business. It doesn't really matter, like how much shareholder value that you created, how many customers you created, how much lead gen that you did. I think like all of that, like at the end of the day, right? Like death is like the main equalizer. And like none of that really matters. Like it matters now. Like we play all of these like status games, right? Everyone's like trying to like flex their Rolly, like flex their Lambo on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever, right? But none of that like really matters at the end of the day. I think it's, just like wake up happy, like be a good person, right? Like talk to the people around you, like provide value, like try to make someone else's life easier, right? Don't like ruminate so much. Don't think about yourself so much. And I think like life's like pretty easy that way, right? Instead of like constantly trying to like push for the next thing, right? Like moving the goalposts. It's very easy to do that. Um, it's knowing when to say, oh yeah, like I'm like good as it is, right? I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied, right? So I'm going to continue to keep working, and I'm going to be in the pursuit of like just becoming better.
Yeah. So much of this hits, man. And as you know, we met actually when I was finishing up my digital nomading, traveling around the world, and when you're doing that right now. And I don't know if we talked about this or how much you knew, but I ended my travels with a pretty last year was very hard for me. And I ended on, I don't want to say a bad note or a negative note, but like I was done with traveling. I was very done when I ended. I was like, get me off this ride, get me back to the US. Like I miss my friends. I went through a breakup last year. And based on everything that you just shared, like what came to mind was this moment, like you're talking about, okay, the business is successful, but like, what if you lack these other facets of life? Does it really matter? And Grindstone, our accountability coaching program for creators, we didn't make any money for the first 10 months, like nothing, like zero. We were in the red every single month. And now like things have been great. And maybe it just sounds like, oh yeah, we struggled for 10 months, but like those 10 months were hell. They were miserable. And it didn't feel like 10 months just flew by. It was slow pain. And then at some point last summer, we sort of switched around the model. We built a high ticket thing. And anyway, I started to learn how to do sales. And this was right after I went through my breakup. This woman that I shared a life with and like shared struggles with. And in about 3 hours, I remember very clearly, it was a Sunday. And in 3 hours, I did 2 sales calls and got 2 clients out of those 2 sales calls. They both said yes, and like paid in full, made about $8,000 in 3 hours. And like, so 10 months, nothing. And then in 3 hours, like, oh my God, we've made more money than, the whole year combined. And I remember feeling nothing. I felt nothing because what I normally would have done in that moment was stand up and like go to the other room and say like, oh my God, guess what just happened? But she was gone. Like we had just broken up. I was in a house by myself. I was completely alone in a country where I didn't know anybody. And I just remember standing, and of course I was grateful for it. And I was like, okay, yes, finally this means that we can, move forward. Like, of course. But in that moment, I was just like, who cares? Like, who fucking cares? Like, what's the point? And I was like, okay. So then I see what's more important here, or at least what certainly feels more important. And anyway, the thing I missed most, man, was just being close to my friends and my mom and my family. And to be clear, I'm so glad I went on this crazy adventure. It taught me so much about myself and the world, and I have wonderful stories. Like I don't regret it at all, and I don't think negatively. But by the end of it, I was like, Dillan, do you want an extra $100,000 in the business, or like, do you just want to go? I'm like, just get me home, man. Just get me home. I miss my friends. Like, I just want to spend time with the people that I love. It's lonely, man. So that was sort of the end of my experience. And anyway, I'm not trying to bring negativity to this conversation, but that was
No,
how it ended.
I think so. Like that's I think a lot of people, like go through that. Like most people don't really talk about how it's like, man, like when you like travel alone, like sometimes it like gets like fucking lonely, especially when you're hopping between like cities, between countries, like pretty quickly. So for reference, I basically did one country a month, for like the past like 15 months. Like Austin was really like the only time where I like really sat down in like one place and like, built like relationships there. Other than that, it was just like month by month. I spent a lot of 2024 solo traveling, did a lot of did a month in Australia, did a good chunk of Europe, did Sweden, Amsterdam, Italy, and did some of Asia, did Bali, did Thailand, did Singapore, did Malaysia, did Hong Kong. And then eventually I ended up in Austin, Texas. And yeah, most people don't really talk about how like it's sometimes shit, especially like when things aren't going well and you like traveling alone. And sometimes you're in a foreign city. Like for me, I was in Japan and I remember we signed like 38K in like deals, like cash collected that month. And we signed like some of like the biggest clients in the industry. This was October or like September last year. And I was like calling my business partner and he was like, "Oh, you don't sound super excited." And I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, like what's next? Like it's always easy to be caught up into like the what's next. And, I didn't really care that, we signed all these big contracts. It was like, it's cool, but it's always the what's next. Right. And I think it's okay, go through a period of that because I think that helps you realize what you want. Right. But a lot of people like never like really like wake up or like understand themselves as to like what they really want, and they get like trapped in like this bubble. It's like, oh, I should be doing this, right? And when you're in a should be instead of a I get to, that's a completely different frame that you come into like work daily, right? It's like, oh, I should go into work because I have a job, because I have a business that, my clients need me. Like you're like dragging yourself, right? But when you shift it to like a get to, which, requires a lot of like mental reframing, you got to like tell yourself every day, right? And like really tap into like the gratitude piece. You know, if you don't like shift to a get to, like you like just like drag yourself, right? And people go through their whole lives doing that, 10, 20, 30 years until it's too late. So I totally empathize with what you're saying. It's like, oh, like you eventually realize like the money isn't everything. It's like, oh, like really, it's the people. Like how cringe it is to say like, oh, it's like the people along the way, but it's like it's so true. So like right now when I'm traveling, I started off in Madrid like 2 weeks ago. Did it with the boys. We go to Airbnb together. Everyone's running some kind of like YouTube agency or running their own channel, and it's just good vibes, right? Like if you decide to work 12-hour days, you can because you have the right people. If you decide to go, go to a park or like go see whatever attractions or like go eat like nice dinners, do it with the boys, you do it as a group and it's fun, right? And it's super important to do it with the right people and, surround yourself with like friends and family because like I, I think we like underestimate, like how short things are. Like things go by fast, man. Things go by fast. Like friendships don't always last forever. I don't think anything lasts forever, right? Who knows? Like this business, might be making X dollars a month today, and next month it could go to fucking zero. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, might do something and cause some kind of recession. Like who knows, right? And yeah, just treasure what you have and do it with people that keeps you doing it for the long term.
Yeah, and back to the video game thing, I think one of the things that I'm hearing in what you're saying and what I'm getting out of what you're sharing is it's not like, no, you have to work 3 hours a day or you have to work 12 hours a day. It's like you want to build a thing where when you want to work 12 hours, you can. when you want to not work at all, take time off and just completely do whatever you want, you can. When you want to spend a week spending 5 hours a day at work, like, it is autonomous. It is completely up to you. Like, you are the architect of your schedule, your business, and how you spend your time.
Yeah, exactly. Like it it really, the freedom is, it's hard to describe like why it's so important to have the freedom, because most people like really like never experience it, right? Most people will be stuck in a job, and even if it's a high paying job, there's some kind of like golden handcuff there where it's like, oh, if I like quit my job, like what am I gonna do, right? Like all my income goes to zero, my six-figure income goes to zero, and you're stuck like not having the freedom, right? But it's difficult to explain how if I decide on a random Tuesday to go shopping in a mall at a random like 3 p.m., like how good that feels. Or if I decide to, oh, I'm just gonna go to the gym at like 12 p.m. and spend like 2 hours there just because I want to, right? And then I can come back and work until like 2 a.m. if I wanted to. Like it's really just indescribable, like that freedom. And why it's like so important, because like we're not made to like sit at the computer and like work all day and like have like fluorescent light shine at our faces and eat shit fast food. Like we're just like not made for that. Like your body just like crumbles and you age like 3-5 times faster, right? It's not Brian Johnson approved. So yeah, like we're just not built for that. So you just gotta get out there and like get that freedom, I feel.
But to play, so I love this, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a second and just challenge you and see what comes up, because what does come up for me in this moment is that, okay, very easy to say, all right, just get that freedom, build a life where you have full autonomy, where you can work 3 hours a day. But I think of my own entrepreneurial endeavors, right? I built a one-on-one private life coaching business, and then now Grindstone, which is a
Yeah.
accountability coaching for creators. And also within our program, I see all of these creators who are pursuing full time. They have they usually have a 9 to 5 job that they're juggling, and then they're trying to find and create time for this on the side. What comes to mind for me is sort of like what got you here won't get you there sort of thing. And so how to word this question? It can be very enticing, I think, for someone who's like just starting out, or is not anywhere close to having a business or a content business, certainly, that provides them the freedom that we're talking about right now. And typically, at least what I've seen, is that gap must be filled with like a lot of work and volume and figuring like problem solving, like, wait, how do I XYZ? How do like the video game, right? I really have to put in this time to increase these skills, because once these skills are up here, that typically is what provides the ease and flow of building something and systems that provide that freedom. And so, like, my devil's advocate question is, would Bryan, who was just starting out, right? In our last conversation, you said, you're like, man, I really want to learn this. Like, I'm just going to get a job. Like you wrote, I forget some crazy amount of YouTube scripts in a short amount of time. And I'm thinking, like, could you have told that Bryan, like, oh, dude, just work 3 hours a day? Like, no, man, like, do whatever you like. I feel like he needed to put in those hours in a way. Like, he needed to, like, all right, I'm going to put my time in now so that later, more skillful Bryan will have more opportunities and more freedom. So I guess I'm just curious, like, are there phases and stages in building something?
Like I definitely like spent the time. Like I think there's like big like ignorance step that you have to put down, right? And like, oh, there's like skills that you have to acquire. But it never like felt like teeth grinding work.
Hmm.
I think like people associate work with like I have to like put my head down and it's the most painful thing and it's like stuff that I don't enjoy doing. Like inherently, like writing a ton of scripts was something that I enjoyed, and of course I was super lucky to like figure that out early on. It just so happened to be one of the base skills that I learned, right? And it turned out to be super high leverage, but it never felt like I was like keep grinding. For sure it was work. Like I had to like sit down and like do it. Um, but also I like didn't do it in the pursuit of like, oh, I'm gonna like make all of this money. I was actually just like learning it to like learn it. And like I firmly believed like, oh, like I think on a long enough time horizon, like learning the skill will pay off. I don't know if like there's a clear path from, A to B, right? A being like, oh, like having this job, like being stuck in the military, to traveling the world. I didn't even know I was gonna like start traveling the world. I literally just like booked a flight from Singapore to London in April of last year. And like turns out I've been just been traveling for the past 15 months. I like nothing was planned to like travel for like the past year. It kind of just happened, right? It's like, oh, like one country after the next. I guess I'm going here. Like, this is like interesting. And then you just go, go, go. And then all of it happens, right? There isn't really like a set plan. I think, um, like most people think that, oh, like everything is like calculated and like this guy knows everything. But, I think like Steve Jobs says that the dots only connect backwards, right? It only makes sense that, oh, like Brian, decided to go write all these scripts, and then, oh, obviously it makes sense for him to like go start a YouTube channel and start an agency. Oh, and then it's obvious that, oh, he's gonna sign all these clients. Oh, and then obviously now he's made all this money. The natural next step is to go travel. But that's just not how it works, right? When you're in it, there's like, you know, really the reality when I was doing that is that no one was writing YouTube scripts back in like 2 years ago. Like no one was writing YouTube scripts. There was almost no education on it. Um, I decided to start the YouTube channel because, hey, I don't know, maybe like 20 videos in, I'll start getting some traction. But it's like just so happened, like my first video performed really well. I put in a lot of effort into the script, to the edit, into the thumbnail, right? And just so happens that at that time no one else had a script writing agency. Now there's a couple people, but back then no one else had a script writing agency, or no one was running it at a high level with writers in the team, working with business owners. No one was doing that. I was like, okay, just give it a shot. Maybe people will want it. I think I have a feeling that people will want it, but I'm not super sure. I still have to go out and test it and get customers. And then you test it, you get customers, and it takes off, right? And then just like looking back, oh, like it's so obvious. But at the time, it's not obvious. It's not obvious that it's something that people want. It's not obvious that the channel would grow. It's not obvious that, okay, there was some videos on YouTube script writing that have taken off, but it's not obvious that like videos could have gotten 200K, 300K views within this niche, right? And I could make a living out of making those talking head videos and traveling the world. Nothing's like super obvious, right? And like what I would say is like just like have faith, right? It's more so having the faith that, oh, eventually it will work out, right? Maybe like with this skill right now that I'm putting all this time into, right? For me, it was something that I enjoyed, and that I knew that, oh, if I got good at it, maybe there was something there, right? There was like nothing really certain there. Um, and just like enjoying the process, right? Kind of like I enjoyed writing. I enjoyed getting good at it. It felt good getting good at it. It didn't feel like it was tedious. So I just went with it, right? And now it just so happens that, oh, you kind of get the autonomy. Like I don't think you really get the autonomy by like, oh, I want to get the autonomy. You get good at that by getting good at skills that you mentioned, getting good at skills that you really want to get good at. And maybe you make some kind of money along the way.
That's really good. That's really good. My main takeaway, my insight from what you just shared is like, okay, you're earlier on. You will have to put in this time to improve your skills are at 1 out of 99 in this video game.
Yeah.
But why does it have to be painful to get these skills from 1 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 50? Like, why does that have to be painful? Why can't that just be fun? Why can't it just be a fun video game as you work your way up this mountain? And you mentioned your YouTube channel. I have it here in front of me, and I want to sort of look at this in a second, but you recently said, I'm no longer as interested in writing scripts. I spend most of my time thinking of video angles and how to position ideas in unique ways. What does that mean?
I think we're kind of seeing like a big shift. Like it's not difficult to prompt ChatGPT or to prompt Claude and to get like a pretty good piece of copy. I don't think it's as difficult. Obviously, you need to like give it the right inputs, right rubbish in, rubbish out. Obviously, you need to have the right prompts, but I don't think that's super difficult. Like writing the actual words is like the most tedious part. Like kind of anything that's tedious can be automated. But the most difficult part that I think is still cannot be replaced is ideas, right? On a personal brand level, people don't buy your product because your product is good. Right? Your product being good definitely helps, but they buy your product because they buy into your ideas, right? And the AI will never be able to like generate these ideas. Like the ideas come from your unique insights. So that's working with customers, that's going about life, that's talking to customers, that's doing actual client work, unique insights and new experiences, right? Whether you go to like a coffee shop, you go to like a park, or some kind of like accident happens to you, right? It's your unique insights, your experiences, and your stories, right? These are why people follow you on a very like personal brand level. So if you can get these ideas, these unique insights, these experiences, and you go out and you do life, everything kind of writes itself, right? Like if you just give, hey, right, this is like the hook, story, call to action, you feed that into the AI and it just spits out like a really good copy. And it's really good right now. It's only going to get 10 times better, right? But it's the understanding of your audience. It's the understanding that, okay, you're going to pursue ideas and unique insights that will really make the difference there, right? That's what will really like actually define the content. That's what will make you stand out in the age of, okay, there's like a gajillion AI bots that can write gajillion pieces of content. How can you say something that's different, right? And it's just the angle, it's the one idea that will really like make you take off and like, position you differently.
Yeah, I was just talking to Michelle Varghese about this. She's a writing coach. And in this day of like prevalence of AI, especially AI slop, or even on social media, like you can kind of see a lot of AI comments where it's like, did a human even really read this and reply to this? And that was her main point too, which is like, the more this stuff advances, the more important and valuable just humanness will be. And human stories, I love what you said, was insights, experiences, stories, like these cannot be replicated unless you are literally just lying and saying
Yeah.
a thing that did not really happen to you. It's this is what other people will relate to, like they'll see themselves in these stories. And yeah, human emotion, man, it's a powerful thing. And this is also related to something that you recently tweeted, and you said, lots of hype around AI scripts right now. Soon, many will realize that using AI without using your brain makes producing a B plus script easy, but it'll never produce an A plus script because you don't inherently know what an A plus script looks like.
Yeah. I think the two rules in AI, and I read it somewhere, it's you need to know one, what good looks like. So if you don't understand what a good script looks like, and you've never seen one, or you don't, and even if you've seen one, you don't understand the psychology behind why it works, you'll never be able to produce it with AI because you can't write it on your own. So if you can't write it on your own, what makes you think you can talk to a bot and it can write it for you? So you need to know what good looks like, and you need to know what questions to ask, right? And most people think that, oh, like B plus script gets like 100 views, and A plus script will get like 200 views. Like it's not linear like that, right? An A plus script with great storytelling, great research, great insights, great personality will vastly outperform like the B plus script. So making something, it's like the good versus great, right? Like great isn't twice as good, twice better than good. Like great is like 10 times or like 20 times better than good. So like really what AI can produce right now is like good, right? It's like, it's good. It's 90% there, but it's like, it's always like, not quite there. And if you don't think, if there's no critical thinking behind, okay, what makes something great versus good, and you just, type a couple prompts and it produces like AI slop, you'll get like mediocre results. And really, it's the thinking and it's using your brain, asking proper questions, understanding what good looks like that will drive a lot of the significant results when you're creating this content, because you can then create something great, right? It's not saying that you don't use AI, right? I think it's great for like automating a lot of the work, but it's the thinking, it's being able to ask the right questions that will, 10x anything. I think if you have a great copywriter, a great marketer who knows how to use AI, can literally replace a team of like 20, because he has the ideas, he has the insights, he has the correct angles, and he can just multiply the work that he does.
It's analogous to hiring, right? I'm sure you've felt
Yeah.
this in hiring with your team. Like, if you're hiring for a position that you yourself don't know anything about, or you don't know how to do that work yourself, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, right? Because then if something doesn't go wrong, or if they need help or to be mentored or consulted on something, you don't actually know what to do, right? Like, if you have never done a sales call and you have this business and you're like, all right, like, I don't know how to do sales, let me hire a sales rep. I'm just like, well, you better hope that they're perfect, because if they start to, if they're not hitting KPIs, or if they, like, if you're watching their sales calls, like, what are you going to tell? Like, you have to know how to do this yourself. Uh, and anyway, I'm hearing a lot of parallels between that and AI as well. Like, as you said, like, if you don't know what a good script is, how are you going to not only prompt AI to write a good script, how are you going to edit it and vet and go through and be like, no, this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't right. Like, you yourself have to basically be on the front lines first. That's what I'm hearing in what you're sharing.
Yeah, pretty much. If you like, it's the same with like automations, right? When like before AI, there was like automations like Zapier and like Bing.com. Like, if you can make a great automation, but you don't know like what good looks like, it's like, oh, like that's cool. And then you move on to the next thing, right? Because you don't really know how it's really applied. But if there's like a message bot that you can, use to automate like replying to customers, like you already reply to customers all day, right? So you know what a good customer reply looks like. And then if you can have something that saves you a bunch of time doing it, and you're like, oh, this is like actually pretty good, like it can replace me, then that's something that you actually implement, right? Like, we're kind of like looking for, as businesses, we're looking for something that's like, oh wow, that like actually blows my mind. It saves me a bunch of time, rather than something that's, oh, like that's cool. Like, I guess I don't have to look at that. And then that will inevitably generate like B plus results, which like B plus is never good enough.
Mm. Mm-hmm. If we take a look at your YouTube channel, can you see this?
I can.
So these are your most popular videos, and we can see a very, very clear outlier here in the full YouTube script writing course that you
Yeah.
released. And I'm curious what you've learned by posting a completely free course. Like, I think I'm seeing this a lot on YouTube. Like, educators, people, they're just like, all right, there's no paywall. You don't have to like click or give me your email. Like, here it is. Here is the full course. Some of them are like 10 hours long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what did you learn by uploading this to your channel?
I mean, this one video, like 229K views now in a little bit over a year, completely changed my life, right? Completely like changed the entire business, because it went from, oh, like this guy's like a nobody, he just like tweets on Twitter, to having this one thing that pretty much everyone in the space has watched. It's one of the most viewed videos in YouTube script writing. And there's other videos, that are like 8 minutes long, 10 minutes long, that are that have more views. But kind of the depth that I go into in just this one video, it's something that people revisit over and over and over again, right? They'll maybe watch the first 10 minutes, they save it, and then, okay, they'll watch the next like 20 minutes. And and it's something that people revisit, right? People use it as, they download the transcript, they feed it into like ChatGPT, and like, oh, it's like trained on these like frameworks that I've given them. And really, number one, it's a great way to like build trust, right? Even if it's something that got like 1,000, 2,000 views, it's something that I can send people, right? And it's the most value packed thing that I've created, and they'll get value out of it, right? They'll learn something from it. It's not like they won't learn anything from it. So it's like, hey, like everyone asks me, how do you get started with YouTube scriptwriting? It's like, watch that video, right? That video is not super long. It's an hour, 30 minutes. You can get through that, right? So number one, it's a great asset that you can send anyone. Number two, it helped me build a newsletter on the back end. So if you watch that video, all of the call to actions throughout the video was like, hey, if you want this guide, click the link in the description. And then I send them the full gamma set of slides, PowerPoint slides, pretty much. And they could go through it whenever, right? And, they have all the assets, and that's just easy for them to review it. And in exchange for giving them that set of slides that I reviewed, they, give me their email, right? And I've built an 8,000 subscriber email list based off of that. And like owning the audience has allowed me that, hey, even if the YouTube channel doesn't do as well certain months, it's an audience that I can talk to, right? And everyone uses email, can send an email blast, and they can like buy my products, or they can book a call and work with me, or like I can start consulting, or I can do whatever that I want with it, right? And it gives me just so much flexibility from, okay, how do I have this one YouTube video generating me an asset that I own? Because you don't own your YouTube channel, like YouTube owns your YouTube channel, and it's people that I can directly talk to. So number two, it's helped me build a really big email list that drives a lot of business, that I can just talk to customers directly, get feedback on products that I want to launch, just like nurture and like kind of tell my story so that people are excited to like hear from me. And yeah, like thirdly, like like literally like most famous person within YouTube script writing. If you know me, you know me from that video. Um, yeah, and I think it's just like one of the big lessons from that is like, oh, one video can literally change your life, right? And the hit rate for a normal YouTuber is 1 out of 20 videos typically. And so even if you're on your 15th video, it's still ass, right? And you haven't really gotten a ton of traction. Maybe on your 16th video or 17th video that you will, right? Because like that one video literally like built my entire business, and I've yet to have a hit like as large as that. Right now, where we have a couple concepts that we think could work as well as that, or outperform that is in the works. But really, if you kind of take the mentality of, hey, I'm just gonna make the best piece of content possible, eventually one of them will hit. And for some context, that one video, 1 hour 30 minute video, took me about $100 to script and record. So we had the idea. We came with the idea. It's like, hey, there's no like long full course that's out there right now. How can we fill that gap? So it's like, okay, I knew that. Okay, it's going to create a long resource. So I created an initial set of slides based on all of my insights, working with clients, writing a bunch of scripts, right? What people aren't talking about. Put it all into one set of slides. I recorded it. It was a 3-hour recording, I remember. And then I looked back at the recording. I was like, something feels off about the pacing. No, I don't think it's as informational. So I took the slides. It was 120 slides, I think. And then I increased it to 160 slides, just cut it up, made the visuals a lot sharper, made the headlines sharper, added more images, added more text. And then I recorded it again. I watched the recording. Not good enough. And then I went to expand the slides again. It went from 160 slides to 180 slides. And then I recorded it again. And I was like, okay, this is it. Sent it to editing, bunch of revisions in editing, and then we posted it. And most people think that that video like immediately took off. But in the first 60 days, that video had like 1,000, 2,000 views. It was just like super flat. And then I think on day 61, 62, started getting like 4,000 views a day, like 2,000 views a day. And it just took off from there. And the rest is history.
Yeah, and it's a very vivid example of what you shared several minutes ago, which is when you put in more effort, it doesn't get a linear increase in success. It will get orders of magnitude more. So you put in typically 10 hours to make a video, it gets 10 to 20,000 views. If you 10x that, it most likely won't get 10x the success. It could get 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. And I'm curious, do you think for other educators or people who have maybe a topic or something that they could make a course about, and they would love to just give it away for free, have this asset, maybe have calls to action to build their own email list, basically do exactly what you did, how important is it? I guess the question would be like, what should they lean into and what should they avoid? Does it have to be this high production value? Could it just be a long loom? How long should it be? Like, what are the do's and don'ts, do you think?
Oh, that video was basically a long loom, and it was just like a circle. Like I didn't use actually loom to record it, 'cause, the camera quality isn't as good from like a computer. So I
What did you
recorded it
use?
with I just used my camera. It's a Sony camera, Sony ZV-E10. It had a lens on it, and yeah, just hit record. And then when I sat down, and like the camera is above the computer, so I just look up to the camera whenever I want to talk to the audience, and then I look down at the slides whenever I have to read off the slides. And it doesn't have to be anything like high production, right? Mine wasn't anything high production. It was just slides, and it was me talking over it, and me talking to the audience. And all I did was script the hook. So the hook was fully scripted. I read that word for word. Hook was about 2 minutes long. And then I went into the content. And really, the toughest part about making that video is caring, right? It's like
Mm.
really just caring about, oh, what is the most valuable thing for the audience? Because if I really didn't care, I was like, okay, I'm going to make this 1 hour, 30 minutes long. And then that's it, right? I'm just going to record it. Like first round of recording, that's it. I don't think the video would have performed as well because the visuals are a lot sharper on the actual slides, right? And it's easier to follow. So the average view duration would be a lot better. The retention would be a lot better just because I cared about, okay, what would make it the best viewing experience? It's very easy for anyone to whip up, a PowerPoint slide these days and just like talk over it, right? It's very easy. There's like AI apps right now to whip up PowerPoint slides. It's very easy. But I didn't use any of that. I actually wrote every word manually, right? It's easy to get a VA. Oh, go put some pictures on it. Very easy to do that. But I did everything manually. And you don't do everything manually because you think that, oh, it's going to get 200K views. Like, maybe it would, right? Dots connect backwards. But if it's like, okay, like maybe there's a chance and I just care about, okay, how can I make the most valuable thing possible and just like trust that something will happen out of it, right? It's not, you can hypothesize that something will happen, but doesn't mean it'll happen. Just got to trust that if I care deeply enough about the audience, about the piece of content, like everything will work out.
Yeah, as I hear it, you can't fake your way or plan your way to like, all right, cool. Let's just make an hour and a half long course so that it gets 230,000 views.
No, you can't do that. I thought the course was dead at 1K views. I was like, oh, okay, I guess this isn't something that people like. But eventually it did, right? So you never know what your big hits are. You just got to keep swinging.
Mm-hmm. Next one by you. You don't need 1 million subscribers to change your life. You don't need fancy YouTube studio screenshots to get rich. You just need 1,000 of the right people to watch your videos.
Yeah, just it's the 1,000 like true fans concept, right? Where you don't need a ton of people to watch your content. You just need like 1,000 people who actually like very like deeply care about what you're talking about. And if they're like the right people, they will pay you like however like X $1,000 in high ticket, and your life can completely change. Like you don't need a huge audience. It's something niche, something that only you talk about, right? Create a category of one so that, okay, like, like the dollar per view that you get on your video is just much higher, right? But on the back end, it's so unsexy, right? You don't make any like YouTube revenue. Your views are like right, and then there's nothing crazy about it. But just have a few people who like really like you. I think it's really easy to want to be like well known when you just need to be known well, right? You just need to have depth in terms of people who know you rather than going like as wide as possible. Because if you go as wide as possible, it's not that it's impossible to make money. Um, but it's definitely much harder.
It's better. You don't have to be well. Okay, hold on. I just broke my brain. I love that. You don't have to be well known. You just need to be known well.
Yeah. So like being well known is being famous, right? Having everyone know who you are. But if you're known well by a select few group of people, there's like depth. There's people whose opinions that you care about. Like say on a micro scale, that's like friends and family, right? But like if on business level, it's like within your niche. If you're known super well, people know your story, right? People love that you know your stuff, that you're an expert in your niche. They'll change your life, right? And like maybe not today, but 5, 10 years down the road, they 100% will.
I love it. I love it. And you mentioned that this course that you posted, and I assume the YouTube channel in general, has made it easier for clients, people, other aspiring writers to know you well. I'm curious, maybe you don't have to share the monetary impact, but like, how has this YouTube channel affected your business and the success of your script writing agency?
Oh man, like completely changed my life. So when I first started in January, like 2024, this is just January last year, probably making like 2,600 a month. I was still working with the agency, and I posted my first YouTube video. I remember it was like January 13th, January 14th, something like that. We'd been producing the video for like a month. We were supposed to launch the video in mid-December, but we produced the video for a month. It was a month delay. I remember I was pretty unhappy, but then we posted it, and the video went from 0 to 10K views in 2 weeks, completely first channel. And yeah, like completely changed my life. Like immediately I had people reaching out to me and asking me about script writing, asking me about YouTube, like on Twitter. Like when you launch a channel, you can't even have the link in the bio. Um, just because like I think you need your channel to be like 2 weeks old in order to put a link in the bio. So I couldn't even put a link in the bio, but somehow people were reaching out to me and asking me questions, probably from my Twitter. And yeah, like within the first 3 months, I think by end of March, this was when I just got out of the military. We made our first like 30K a month, just from posting. I think I had like 4 or 5 videos up, and it completely just changed my life just from posting a few couple like really targeted niche videos, highly produced, lots of effort into each of them. Really spent hours and hours on the script. Yeah.
These ones, yeah?
Yeah, these ones. Yeah. So like the first video was how to make a killer YouTube video. And then yeah, like how to script a viral YouTube video. Probably, my God, you made $40 million from one YouTube video. Like these first three, I got my first 1,000 subscribers in like 26 days from these first 3 videos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool, and you're clearly. I don't know if you went back and changed these thumbnails later, but we can see a very typical theme here. You had old Bryan hair down under
Yeah.
your forehead. And then for this, so you made this last year. Did you change this title as we came into the new
Yeah.
year? Like this was originally for the
Yeah.
2024 algorithm.
Yeah. So I changed it as the new year was coming. So it's like so it's updated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then this, I've seen this. There's a channel that like only makes these videos, right? Like doing blank is easy. Actually, doing this is easy. Actually.
Yeah, there's definitely like learnings from that video. Like that video didn't like pop up as much. And I think it's like, like don't chase trends is what I learned from making that video. Because it's really easy to be like, oh, this like format's like working. but you really have to think, okay, like what is going to build trust long term? Do I actually want something like this on my channel, like long term? And like thinking about like what actual content will convert, right? Because that video was pretty much like stealing a format from another channel, and it's like, oh, like, okay, we kind of created the hypothesis that like talking about quote unquote like going viral is easy. Actually, like that format would work, you know, given the total addressable market, but it didn't work for the audience that I had because the editing was completely different. That the format was completely different. It didn't have my face on it. We were just doing it to go viral, right? And we didn't think about the audience. And yeah, like that, you know, like that brought in people that I didn't want to attract. And yeah, I would say like main learning from that is like make content for the long term. Like there's no point trying to chase like, you know, the immediate high of like a viral YouTube video. Even if it does, like even if that video hit like 200K views, like it wouldn't have any remote impact on my brand, wouldn't have any remote impact on what I want to be known for.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it actually would in a negative way. It would impact that. Like if that did take off, then it's like, oh, well, do we just now only make videos of this style with this thumbnail? Like is this now what I've locked myself into?
Yeah, exactly. And if you build the wrong audience, like you're screwed. I was just lucky that that video didn't take off insanely much because there's a lot of people who build the wrong audience. Oh, like they get a couple of videos with like 1 million views, and then the rest of the videos are stuck at a couple thousand. Right? And that's definitely a trap, right? It's like you get like a short term high, you maybe get a short term boost of sales, but like in terms of like building like a 5, 10 year long asset, which is what YouTube is, doesn't add up. Yeah.
Yeah, April and Alter, I had her on the show, and she talks about the rocket ship concept, which is, all right, you're about to upload this video. Let's just say that this is a rocket ship, and this goes mega viral. This video gets 1 million views, and then brings a huge influx of subscribers for because they want more videos like this video. Would you be happy with that? Would you be thrilled with that? If the answer is like, probably not, then it's like, all right, then this doesn't really belong in your ecosystem then, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. I just want you to agree with me, Bryan. That's the only thing I'm looking for here in this conversation. It's very validating. On the topic of selling, here's another quote from you. Most creators feel sleazy selling in their videos, but viewers want solutions to their problems. The sleazy feeling comes from selling too early before providing value, selling the wrong thing, mismatched to content, selling awkwardly without proper transitions. Selling isn't sleazy. Bad selling is.
True. Damn, I wrote that. Yeah, that's a banger. But like sometimes I surprise myself, bro. Sometimes I surprise myself. I'm like, yeah, like sometimes it's just off the dome. Like nothing is scripted. Like tweets are just like on my phone. When I get an insight, I just write it. But yeah, like I think there's a lot of like awkwardness in terms of, oh, like it's tough to like make an ask, right? In organic content because, you know, like you have this brand and, you know, people on YouTube are weird about you selling products. But really, if you're running a business and you're creating niche content, like people are watching your content not because like they want to have fun and like not because they like, you know, seeing like web design templates or like seeing, you know, how to like acquire clients for like web design. Like you have to be pretty psychopathic to like watch that for entertainment, right? If they wanted to watch entertainment, they'd go watch Netflix or they go watch Mr. Beast. But they're there to learn, right? And they want to learn because there's like a specific pain point, there's a specific gap in their life that they want to fill. Like I don't take Spanish classes because, you know, like learning Spanish is fun or like learning this new language is fun. I'm sure there's people who do that, but not me. But it's because like there's a gap. I want to learn Spanish. I'm gonna move to Mexico City, so there's a pain there, and I want to solve it. So I'm gonna watch YouTube videos. I'm gonna use these apps to learn. I'm gonna go get lessons, right? And it's the same thing for YouTube. Like there is a gap. There's something that people want to learn, and whether it's true watching free stuff, there's a certain portion of people who just want to watch free stuff. And then there's a tiny segment of your audience who will want to pay you for that, right? And so selling them a product, right? Access to you, info product, software is like the natural solution. So if they watch your content, they have a problem they want to solve. So it makes sense to sell them something, right? Like, let's get out of the way. Like, selling them something is actually helping them, right? Unless like the product is bad, then it's bad for them. But if it's something good and it's something that helps them, you're pretty much obligated to pitch it at some point, right? Maybe not in every video, but it's important to pitch it. So kind of like the sleazy feeling of selling. It's like if the transitions are awkward, it's like, like it's completely unrelated topic, right? Say I'm, my content is script writing and then I talk about Instagram growth. It's like, no, like I'm not an Instagram expert. I have like 600 followers on Instagram, but like let's say I make a partnership with like an Instagram guy. It's like, oh, suddenly I'm selling Instagram stuff, but that's not my audience. That's not what I'm an expert in. Sure, is there people in my audience who are interested in growing on Instagram? Absolutely, right? But it's not aligned with my content. So it definitely feels weird and your audience will feel weird about it. And, you only have like so many shots of your audience, like in terms of like goodwill, right? And you really want to build up their goodwill. And if you, present them something that they're not really caring about, then they're not even going to buy it, right? There's just no point in doing that. So like, don't sell a product that's not aligned with your content, right? Even like lead magnets, right? The lead magnets that you pitch in your video, it's like, hey, click the link in the description for a swipe file, for a template, needs to be aligned with what you're talking about. If there's a video that I'm talking about retention, and then I talk about how to write a call to action, like that doesn't make sense, right? There's like a misalignment there. So there always must be alignment, right? Don't pitch too early in the video. If it's a massive ask, you only get to have a massive ask after you've given a ton of value, right? After you've given them a lot of information. Because then once you've given a lot, then you can take a little bit, right? And also like a big mistake a lot of businesses make is they always ask, right? Every video they ask. It's like, hey, like, work with me, work with me, work with me. But that really like burns the goodwill of the audience, right? There's people in your audience who are just there to consume the free stuff and you want to accommodate them, right? You can pitch one in every 4 videos, one in every 10 videos, but not in every video.
Mm-hmm. Don't sell awkwardly. Don't sell the wrong thing. And then don't sell before you have given a ton of value.
Exactly.
I really love the Spanish lesson example, right? You're in Spain right now. It wouldn't make sense if someone was like, hey, sir, how you doing? Like, would you like to take Spanish classes here? It wouldn't like you wouldn't be like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm just learning Spanish as a hobby. Like I it's really just fun and entertaining for me. You'd be like, yeah, that would probably make it easier for me to improve my skill of Spanish speaking as I'm in this country. It would make sense for them to try to sell you this service in exchange for your money.
Exactly, right? And we really only, like on YouTube, we really only work with people that we trust, right? We must trust the person that we're watching in order to buy from them. So you got to trust them, and you got to think that they have information that you don't have in order to work with you, right? And that's where you create the gap. You give a lot of value up front. You position yourself as an authority, and then only then you make the ask.
What's the pie chart, like the percentages of how Viral Bangers gets its clients? Like, where do they typically come from?
It's mainly from YouTube. So like the YouTube is like the main growth engine. I do have an audience on Twitter, but people who come to me on Twitter usually would have watched some kind of my YouTube content. So really like the top of funnel is just all YouTube right now. And like it's YouTube long form. So it's people who have consumed my long form content. And, there's like super high amount of trust from the people who watch the content. And, we funnel them to an email list. And then they work with us from there. It's pretty much the flow.
And just to double click on that flow, I mean, how, and just, you don't have to share anything you're not comfortable with, but
Yeah.
how big is your team? Like, what's the tip? What does that funnel actually look like? Do they get on a discovery call, a sales call, an onboarding call? Like, what are the actual steps between, like, I see one of Bryan's videos, I think I want to work with Bryan, never met him before, never talked to him, all the way until I am a paid client of Viral Bangers and they are now making scripts for me in exchange for my money?
Yeah. Excellent question. So in terms of the flow, it's YouTube, Twitter. Usually it's YouTube, Twitter. They go onto an email list. There's also a way for them to book a call in certain videos where I pitch, but then they'll book a call. They'll go on the website, it goes to a type form. So the type form will qualify them. And the reason there's a step in between the type form and the book a call is because some people will go on the book a call and they won't like find the time slot, but they'll fill in their phone number. So then I can drop them an iMessage. I can drop them a WhatsApp to get them to book in. So this increases conversions. So type form goes to book a call. And then after they book a call, we send them testimonials. We send them like what the offer looks like. We send them like my story. So there's a pre-call sequence, and then they get on a sales call. And if they buy, yeah, then they get onboarded and they get a writer assigned to them, and then we start producing scripts for them. That's pretty much the flow from top of funnel to middle funnel. Like there's the pre-call sequence to the sales call, and yeah, to them working with us.
Mm-hmm. And so you assign them their own individual writer. How big is your team? And then how do you discern, oh, this new client will get this specific writer assigned to them?
Yeah, so like we have two writers on team. One of them's like female, one of them's male, and like they're both like really great. But we do like sign female clients that have like girl boss type content that I cannot for my life write, or like guys for their life like will not understand and like be able to write that kind of content. So like that's why we have a female writer. She's really great. She can write for anyone. And yeah, like in terms of female clients, she manages it. She's generally just better with that kind of language, and she understands like the nuances. So like she handles those. And then there's also like depending on the niche, right? Some of our writers would have written for certain niches that they're more comfortable with, and we just assign them um those clients. Yeah. So it's pretty much, you know, gender sometimes it matters. And familiarity with the niche and kind of like the storytelling style.
Cool. So two writers. And then what are your general roles, responsibilities in the day to day and operating the business?
Yeah. So manage all client communication. So clients like still talk to me. Like creating content. So that's like Twitter, YouTube, and now we're doing a little bit more of like short form. So just started short form on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and yeah, just like sales calls. I take sales calls too, and then just like networking with people, just like going to like events, talking to people. But it's mainly like creating content. Like my job is like, okay, how can I create like the best content possible and do sales? Yeah.
Cool. Cool. And no other sales reps, closers, like you basically handle, as I hear it, all of client acquisition, sales, marketing.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Sweet. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for showing us behind the hood a little bit. I'm always fascinated to see like the inner operations of businesses and funnels. And
Yeah.
man, this has been very fun as I thought it would be. And I'm wondering if at the end here we could sort of wrap up with me just throwing some rapid fire questions your way.
Let's do it.
Okay. As you continue in your creative career, what is getting easier and what is getting harder?
I think what's getting easier is getting on camera. You're getting a lot better at that. There used to be a lot of resistance to like getting on camera. Just because it's uncomfortable. I like, okay, I think I need to have all the best equipment, but now it's a lot easier. I'll like put on my phone and like start recording. Like I'm much better at like setting up cameras, which is I think a skill that most people don't really talk about. That is super important. Um, And what's getting harder is ideas, man. It's like, how can I produce the best ideas, the most amount of ideas all the time? Yeah.
And just follow up on that. Do you feel like that becomes harder based on how sort of narrow the niche is? Like, do you feel like it becomes easier to come up with ideas the more broad you go in a space?
I think so. Like the more broader, the more things that there are to talk about, right? And like yeah, my expertise or like what I think about isn't just limited to script writing. So it's just like expanding the content to hit more people is something I'm excited to do like this year.
Sure. Cool. What is the number one lesson that you've had to learn the hard way?
I don't know, like love your parents. I don't know if I learned that the hard way, but like a good chunk of last year, I wasn't super close with my parents, especially because like I like didn't text them back. I was like traveling and made excuse of like time zones and everything. But I spent a lot of time with them this year, just like getting a lot closer to them, like spending a lot of time in person. When I was in Austin, they flew out to Austin to like come hang out with me.
Are they in
And
Singapore?
yeah, they're in Singapore, but they flew out to Austin to like come see me for like a couple of weeks. We like had dinners. I showed them around all of my friends, and it's like I never really like appreciated like the value of like that relationship until like oh like I spent a lot of time like getting to know them better and letting them like into my life. So it's just like fucking I don't know if that's like the hard way, but like um definitely like when you're alone, it's like definitely like shit. So I think like having your parents there, like they're like the only people who will care about you as much as you care about yourself.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I think it's easier to learn that lesson or feel that lesson once access to them is taken away, or like once you go away, you're just like, oh wow, you finally feel that lacking of like, oh, this is yeah. The same thing happened to me. I was just like, I miss my mom, man. Like, I want to hang out
Yeah,
with my mom.
yeah.
Cool. What is something that you believe, like a philosophy, idea, insight, concept about content creation that most other creators would disagree with?
Damn, that's a tough question. I think it's that I think it's like the hustle culture more than anything. Like a lot of like the business space and like the content creation space, it's like, oh, I'm like working on stuff all the time. But I think it's the white space that gives you a lot of clarity and a lot of like thinking. Like that's where like a lot of the best ideas come from, like shower thoughts. Like what is that? That's just like a white space with like a little bit of stimulation from like the water on your body, right? That's like it's the white space that brings the best ideas that is very underrated. So it's just creating space for thinking, like stare at a wall, for a little bit to come up with great ideas. And like I don't fully agree with like working all the time or like writing all the time, like creating content all the time. I don't believe in that.
Hmm. Favorite creator outside of your niche?
Favorite creator. Who am I even watching right now? I don't even know who I'm watching right now. Let me pull up my YouTube.
You can tell a lot about a man by looking at his YouTube algorithm.
I think so. The My First Million guys.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
it
they're
Sean
fire.
and
Sean
who's the
and
other guy?
Sampar. Yeah,
Sam. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. That's like, I think that's cheating though. That's similar to your niche, like entrepreneur-y, businessy, like
Oh, I can tell you, I've been watching a lot of Nelk recently. Nelk Boys.
no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're classic. They're so good. I think they're still at the top of their game. I just enjoy. Like I don't know, it brings a lot of nostalgia, I feel.
You play? Do you like any of the chess creators?
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of Hikaru. Like I like to still keep up
Mm.
with the games, stuff like that. Yeah,
You and I have never played chess.
we got to run a
Still to
game.
this.
We got to run a
We
game.
could. We should. I would like to.
We should.
Um,
Yeah,
are you a chess.com or Lee Chess person?
just.com.
Okay, cool. What's your elo right now?
I haven't played in a minute, but it's like 2000.
2000?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should play in a few months. There you go.
I'll give you some time.
A little
Yeah.
bit better. I just hit 1900 on Rapid, but
Oh, you're good.
yeah, I can play. But
You got this. Yeah.
we'll set it up. Okay, 2 more questions. What have you sacrificed, Bryan, to get to where you are today, and what have you been unwilling to sacrifice?
Like old friends. Like I'm not as in touch with like my old friends, but I also think that's like a symptom of like them not doing the same things that I'm doing.
Hmm.
So like old friends. And what have I been unwilling to sacrifice? My enjoyment of the work. Like if I don't enjoy it, like I just won't do it. Yeah. Like if or I'll outsource it if it's like important. But yeah, like I would never like sacrifice my enjoyment for the work because like once that goes, it's like everything crumbles. I feel.
Mm-hmm. Final question, sir. If you could go back to the Bryan of, I guess, January of last year, who just started the YouTube channel, and you could give him one piece of advice, what would you tell him?
I think it's to ruthlessly apply feedback. I think it's very easy to be like, oh, we have like a few viral hits. It's like, oh, like that's all I need to know. It's like, but I think it's like asking for more feedback. It's like, hey, what am I doing? What can I do better? What can I do? What can I do better? Especially since I have access to like all of these like really genius strategists and like creators. It's more aggressively asking for advice and then more ruthlessly applying that advice. I think I would have gone way further if I did that. And I'm doing a lot of that more now.
Yeah. Mario Yos, who was Mr. Beast's former retention
Yeah.
director, I asked him, because he works with very big creators, tens of millions of subscribers. And I said, what are some of the biggest differences between these big creators and smaller creators, which is like who I work with here in Grindstone? And he said, the number one difference is just how quickly they take action and make changes based on feedback that they get. You tell a small creator, hey, you need to change this, this, and this. And they're like, okay. Well, that doesn't really like fit my artistic vision of sort of what I'm going. He's like, you tell a creator with 10 million subscribers, hey, you need to change this, this, and this. And they'll be like, okay. And then they change them immediately. And then they never do those old things ever again. They just, as you put it, ruthlessly take feedback and make changes on it immediately.
There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So based on that, next month you will have 10 million subscribers, and I'm certain of it, Bryan, and I look forward to it.
It'll happen. I'll drop you a message when it's done.
Yeah, please. Bryan, you're the man. I really enjoy these conversations. I love what you're doing. I think it's inspiring. I think it's really cool, and yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm proud of you. This was really fun. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, man, this was fun. Thanks for having me on.